Okay, this problem, we are looking at common size percents again. That's a vertical analysis, but this time it's of a balance sheet. So instead of a income statement that we looked at a few minutes ago, now we're looking at a balance sheet. And balance sheets, common size percent, what we do is we do it based on total assets. So everything that we're going to do here, we're going to take every number and we're going to divide it by total assets or total liabilities and equity, because those are the same number, right? So I've got a lot of this table already done for us, because I think once you get going with it, you'll understand exactly what it should look like. But what I have is our very first year, the current year. That's the one that we're going to actually calculate, and we're going to do it. Let's see, I got to just zoom in here. We're going to do it right here. I made it so there's enough room on this sheet. So like cash, for example, I'm going to write it right in here. It's $31,800 is the balance of that account. Do you see where I got that? I got that right here. So I got that balance right there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it, and I'm going to divide everything by total assets, which is $523,000. So now I just take that number, I divide it by 523,000, and I'll get an answer. So that's what we're going to do for this problem. Really simple, but again, don't forget that when we do these, we first convert to a percent. Then second step is to round it. So here we're rounding to one decimal place after it's a percentage. So my answer for this one is, let's see, it's let me find this one in my notes. There it is, 0.060803. So that's a tough one, but we first convert it, and that becomes 6.1%. So because of that 8, we're going to actually round that up to a 1. So there we go. All right, I think you've got the rounding rules down. So let's just do a couple more of these so you can see how these look. The next one, accounts receivable, is $89,500. Again, we would divide that by $523,000. Always going to be dividing it by $523,000. So this one is, once we round it, it becomes 17.1%. Merchandise inventory, it's $112,500. We divide that by $523,000, and that's going to give us an answer of 21.5%. So remember, we first convert it to a percentage, then we round. That's a really important piece. Otherwise, you're going to round too much too soon. So, okay, prepaid expenses. So when we take those, $10,700, and we divide that by $523,000, we get a really small number, but it's 0.0204. So that becomes 2.2. It's just 2. It doesn't round to anything. It's just 2.0. Yep. Okay, so I think you get the drill. Just to make sure you understand what this one will look like, though, 523,000 divided by itself will give you an answer of 1 in your calculator, which is 100%. A lot of people like to try to put that 1 in there, but don't forget, convert it to a percentage, so you got to give it those 2 zeros, right? And I know I skipped this one, but this one becomes 53.3% right there. So okay, so again, what we did here is we divided everything by $523,000. We used the same number over and over and over again. All of our numbers are positive, but if you ever had to take a negative number, like a accumulated depreciation, for example, if you took that and divided it by total assets, it would end up with a negative answer, and that's fine. If you ever have a zero balance account, you cannot have an answer. It would just be 0. So I think those are the only couple of tricks I wanted to mention. Okay, so I've entered, I wrote out all of the formulas. So you can see I did the liabilities and equity, divided everything by 523,000, and that's how I got those percentages. Now for all of the other already written in answers, So like this 1 year ago one, that one, every number for there was divided by $445,000, which would be those total assets. And then all of them here in the 2 years ago column, those were all divided by 377,500. That's how they gave all of those numbers. So I use Excel when I do these. I throw it all into Excel. I use some formulas and I have Excel leave me the number unrounded, and then I round it myself, right, to make sure it's right. So when I did the first, let me make sure I have the right one here. So it's this year, 8, yeah, the year with the 8. So this year right here, the second year, or no, I'm sorry, the first year, the middle one. Let's call it the middle one, okay? The 1 year ago one. When I went through that one and rounded everything, I was double checking the math on it, and I noticed that when I added all of the percentages, which, let me change that color. When I added all of these, when you add all of these up, they should equal 100%. So all of those should equal 100% right here. But when I added them up, I noticed that it equaled 99.9%. And you can kind of see that because I see all these decimals right here. They're 5, 1, and 3. So that equals 9. So I already kind of knew like something was up there. And this has actually happened to me in real life when I worked in public accounting. We were doing a report for one of the school districts, and the numbers, when they got rounded in the report, they didn't add up. It was like 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 2. And that's not how it is, right? There was a rounding error. Actually, it was 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. So it was too high. So in this case, we're down. We need another decimal. We need one more tenth of a percentage. So in real life, what you do whenever you're down and your numbers don't actually add up like they're supposed to, you take the largest number, which in this case would be the 57.3%. You take that largest number and you adjust it there. So it would be 57.4. That would make me a perfect 100%, and I would be good. I had the same issue with the bottom. It equaled 99.9%. So again, you'd look for the largest number in all of this, and the largest number is this 36.7. So you'd make it 36.8. So that's what you would do in real life to make it work out. So I just wanted to explain that. And I do know, and I forgot, that my percents here, I'm erasing them in that first column, those percents sometimes confuse students. So I just took those off. So now maybe it's easier to see. My percentages, when I draw them, sometimes they look like 9s. So I don't know. I don't think it looks like a 9, but oh well. So anyway, I'll try to keep them off. All right, so that's it for a common size percent of a balance sheet. In those cases, we always use total assets. So total assets is our denominator.